All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're looking at a piece of equipment that, on the surface, seems pretty simple. But believe me, it operates under some unimaginable stress to keep people safe in some of the most dangerous industries on Earth. So let's get right into it. Okay, so right off the bat, I want to be crystal clear. This is not your garden hose, okay? This thing is a critical lifeline. It's an engineered marvel built to work in the world's absolute toughest industrial environments. And when I say demanding, I am not kidding. We're talking about 15,000 psi. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that is basically the same kind of pressure you'd find at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Yeah, the deepest part of the ocean. And all of that incredible, crushing force, it's all contained right inside this flexible hose.
So, the story of this hose, its entire safety record, really, it begins way before it ever even sees an ounce of pressure. It starts with a choice, a really crucial one. See, when you're dealing with hazardous materials, you quickly learn that not all hoses are created equal. And picking the right one, that's the first and maybe most important link in the whole safety chain.
So check this out. The very first decision you have to make is all about the job it's going to do. Are we talking about a sour service environment? And what that means is, are you going to be dealing with hydrogen sulfide gas, H2S? That stuff is not just deadly toxic, it's also incredibly corrosive. It'll eat right through standard materials. That's why only very specific hoses, like the ones you see here from Coflex or ContiTech, are rated for it. Grabbing the wrong one here, well, that would be absolutely catastrophic.
The risk is just so incredibly high that there can't be any confusion. None. So, to stop a potentially fatal mistake before it happens, these standard service hoses have to be marked clearly and permanently with a metal band. And we're not talking about a sticker that could just peel off. No, this is a permanent warning stamped right on it, telling you exactly what it can't handle.
Okay, so you've picked the right hose, but its life and its ability to keep everyone safe now depends entirely on how it's treated, way before it's even hooked up. Honestly, just getting it from point A to point B is a science all on its own.
And every single one of these rules you see here, they're all there for one reason: to protect the hose's incredibly complex internal structure. That minimum bending radius, that is not a suggestion. You bend it too tight, you can cause damage you can't even see. And look at this, you can't even attach extra fittings or crossovers while it's being moved. It is all about preventing that one tiny hidden bit of damage that could lead to a massive failure down the line.
And this right here, this is probably the #1 rule of handling. You never, ever drag the bottom end. I mean, it sounds so simple, right? But just dragging that end fitting across a steel deck can wreck the seal and compromise that entire connection. And that connection point, it's one of the most critical parts of the whole setup.
All right, so after all that careful transport, we finally get to the moment of truth, rigging it up. And this part is a process of pure, absolute precision. The #1 priority here is making sure all the weight, all the stress is taken completely off the connection point.
Every one of these steps is a careful, deliberate move to make sure that connection isn't a weak link. First, you've got to lift and support the incredible weight of the hose itself. That way, the final union can be tightened with zero tension on it. And then you have this final step, marking it. It's such a simple but brilliant little trick. It gives you an instant visual check to see if vibrations have caused anything to loosen up during the job.
And this just goes to show you how deep the details go. Even the type of metal fitting you use is absolutely critical. On one side, you've got API or Greylock hubs. They're bolted together, super secure. They are strongly recommended. On the other side, you have hammer unions. You literally tighten those by whacking them with a sledgehammer. And the problem is they're just way more likely to get stressed out and back off, which means a higher risk of a leak. So yeah, it all comes down to picking the most reliable connection from the get-go.
The engineering for safety goes all the way back to how these things are even made. The end fittings have to be swaged. What's that mean? It means they are permanently crimped right onto the hose itself. There are no screw threads in between. This makes the hose and the fitting one single, solid unit. It's all about getting rid of any potential weak points. Just another tiny but crucial detail in the safety chain. So, the connection is made, it's secure. Now the hose starts its real job. But even now, while it's under all that pressure, there is a very strict set of rules to follow.
It's not just about holding the pressure, you also have to worry about the speed of whatever's flowing through it. If the fluid moves too fast, it can literally act like liquid sandpaper, eroding the inside of the hose and causing all sorts of damage you can't see. And as you can tell from the chart, each brand has its own very specific, tested limit.
And of course, those other rules are just as important. That minimum bend radius we talked about? Yep, that still applies. What about heat? If you expose the hose to temperatures above its rating, even for a little while, its structure is compromised and it's got to be taken out of service. Period. And obviously, you have to make sure the chemicals going through it won't eat away at the inner lining. Breaking any one of these rules, well, that could lead to a catastrophic failure.
Okay, so the job's done. The pressure is off. You might think that's the end of it, but no. The hose's life just enters a whole new phase. The vigilance, it never, ever stops. Now it's all about constant monitoring and maintenance.
I mean, just look at this inspection schedule. It is absolutely relentless. After every single job, it gets inspected and pressure tested. Then, once a year, that inspection gets even more thorough. And every 5 years, it goes back for a major survey, a lot of times right back to the manufacturer who built it. The longer it's in service, the more it gets scrutinized.
And this, right here, is the key to the entire system. Think of it like a passport. Every single detail of the hose's history, every time it was pressurized, the temperatures it saw, the chemicals it handled, all of it has to be logged. If that history is incomplete, if there are gaps, the hose simply cannot be recertified. Those records are its life story, and without them, its career is over.
But here's the thing. Even with the most careful handling, the best connections, a perfect operational history, and flawless records, there is a hard stop, an absolute end. 20 years. That's it. That is the maximum service life for one of these hoses, no matter what.
And the language they use is blunt for a reason. Hoses older than this must be junked. There's no wiggle room, no exceptions. After 2 decades, you just can't guarantee the integrity of the materials anymore, even if it looks perfect on the outside. When it comes to safety, its life is officially and non-negotiably over. So what starts as just a simple hose ends up revealing this entire hidden world of incredible precision, careful planning, and totally uncompromising rules. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What about the bridges you drive over every day, the planes you fly in? What other hidden engineering, what other invisible safety protocols are working behind the scenes right now just to keep you safe?